Welcome to today's Catholic Daily Readings from Christus Dominus Bread of Life. A reading from the book of Leviticus. And the Lord spoke to Moses on Mount Sinai, saying, You shall number for yourself 7 weeks of years, 7 times 7, which together makes 49 years. And you shall sound the trumpet in the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, on the day of atonement. And you shall sanctify the 50th year, and you shall proclaim liberty in the land to all its inhabitants. It will be a jubilee for you. And each one shall return to his possession, and each one shall go back to his family. The 50th year is the jubilee. You shall not sow, nor shall you reap what grows by itself, nor shall you gather the grapes of the first fruits. For it is a jubilee, and it shall be holy to you. You shall eat what the field produces. In that year of the jubilee, all shall return to their possessions. When you will sell anything to your fellow citizen, or buy anything from him, do not cause your brother to grieve, but you shall buy from him according to the number of years from the jubilee, and he shall sell to you according to the number of years of the produce, so that in proportion to the number of years that is greater, the price shall increase, and in proportion to the number of years that is less, the price shall diminish. For it is the time of the produce that he is selling to you. Do not be willing to afflict your countrymen, but let each one fear his God, for I am the Lord your God.
O God, let all the nations praise you. May God have pity on us and bless us. May He let His face shine upon us. So may your way be known upon earth among all nations, your salvation. O God, let all the nations praise you. May the nations be glad and exult, because you rule the peoples in equity, the nations on the earth. You God, let all the nations praise you. The earth has yielded its fruits. God, our God, has blessed us. May God bless us, and may all the ends of the earth fear Him. O God, let all the nations praise you. O God, let all the nations praise you.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. At that time, Herod the Tetrarch heard the news about Jesus, and he said to his servants, "This is John the Baptist. He has risen from the dead, and that is why miracles are at work in him. for Herod had apprehended John and bound him and put him in prison because of Herodias, the wife of his brother. For John was saying to him, "It is not lawful for you to have her." And though he wanted to kill him, he feared the people, because they held him to be a prophet. Then on Herod's birthday, the daughter of Herodias danced in their midst, and it pleased Herod. And so he promised with an oath to give her whatever she would ask of him. But having been advised by her mother, she said, "Give me here on a platter the head of John the Baptist." And the king was distressed, but because of his oath and because of those who sat at table with him, he ordered it to be given. And he sent and had John beheaded in prison, and his head was brought on a platter, and it was given to the girl, and she brought it to her mother. And his disciples approached and took the body, and they buried it. And arriving, they reported it to Jesus. Join us for today's reflection. There are moments when saying yes to the wrong thing locks you into consequences you never intended. The casual promise that becomes a legal obligation, the social commitment that spirals beyond your control, the public declaration that traps you in a corner you can't escape. King Herod found himself in exactly this position when his stepdaughter danced at his birthday party. Herodias had been plotting John the Baptist's death for months. John had publicly condemned her marriage to Herod as unlawful, but Herod himself was torn. He feared John because he knew he was righteous, yet he also enjoyed listening to him speak. Then came the birthday party, the daughter's dance, and the rash promise that changed everything. "Ask me for whatever you wish, and I will grant it to you," Herod declared publicly, adding an oath. "Whatever you ask I will give you, even to half of my kingdom." It was the kind of grandiose gesture powerful people make when they want to impress their guests. But Herodias had been waiting for exactly this moment. The girl consulted her mother, returned, and made her request. "I want you to give me at once on a platter the head of John the Baptist." Matthew tells us Herod was deeply grieved. This wasn't what he wanted, but he had given his word publicly with an oath in front of all his guests. His reputation was on the line. To back down now would make him look weak, so he ordered John's execution. This story reveals something devastating about how evil often operates, not through dramatic moments of conscious wickedness, but through the gradual erosion of moral clarity and the pressure of social expectations that prioritize image over integrity. Herod didn't wake up planning to kill John the Baptist, but when the moment came to choose between doing what was right and protecting his reputation, reputation won. The Leviticus reading about the Year of Jubilee provides a stark contrast. Every 50 years, God commanded Israel to reset everything. Slaves were freed, debts were forgiven, property was returned. It was a systematic correction of accumulated injustices, but there's no jubilee for murder. Some choices create consequences that can't be undone. John the Baptist's head on a platter represents the collision between truth and power, between moral courage and political convenience. John had spent his life preparing the way for Jesus, calling people to repentance, creating space for God's grace to work. Herod's choice eliminated that voice from the world. How many times have we found ourselves in Herod's position, not planning evil, not intending harm, but trapped by our own words, our social commitments, our concern for what others think? Maybe it's the promise you made in anger that you now feel obligated to keep. Maybe it's the social expectation that's leading you away from your values. Maybe it's the public position you've taken that's preventing you from admitting you were wrong. Herod's tragedy wasn't that he was uniquely evil. His tragedy was that he prioritized his image over his integrity at the crucial moment. The dance that demanded a death started with a celebration. The promise that led to murder began with generosity. The decision that silenced a prophet emerged from a desire to look good in front of others. Evil often wears the mask of respectability, speaks the language of social obligation, and justifies itself through concern for appearances. John the Baptist died because he told the truth about power. His death wasn't an accident. It was the inevitable result of truth confronting compromise. Every generation faces the same choice Herod faced. When truth conflicts with convenience, when doing right threatens our reputation, when God's standards clash with social expectations, what wins? Herod could have said, "I spoke rashly. I will not shed innocent blood to save my reputation." He could have chosen integrity over image, righteousness over respectability. Instead, he chose to protect his public standing at the cost of his soul, and in doing so, he eliminated one of the greatest voices for truth his generation would ever hear. The question for us is simple. When the music stops and the crowd is watching, when your reputation is on the line and your image is at stake, what will you choose? Your answer might determine not just your own integrity, but the fate of truth itself in your sphere of influence.